This is what happens to a rapist. The officer immediately forced Kong Kiong to surrender. Lee Yong-do is teaching criminals harsh lessons now. Just a few days ago, he was struggling as a delivery guy. One day he witnessed an assault. Sure enough, the criminal tried to kill the victim the next moment. The criminal grabbed a beer bottle to stab. Just as the fatal blow was about to descend, Lee Yong-do rushed over. Being a third Dan black belt, the opponent was no match. He grabbed the man by the throat, unleashed a combo, and subdued him. Finally, he effortlessly handed the criminal over to probation officer Kim Seon-min, and then later was awarded a medal for bravery. Seeing Lee Yong-do's strong physique, Kim Seon-min invited him into the probation office. He asked Lee Yong-do to join their team, the division in charge of supervising criminals after they are released. Many of them had committed violent crimes like murder. After they are released, they are fitted with electronic ankle monitors. If something happens that requires quick action, someone has to be on the scene fast. Because Lee Yong-do has always cared about justice, he accepted immediately. Just as he began, they discovered movement from Kong Kiong's ankle monitor. After confirming the identity, Kim Seon-min drove Lee Yong-do to carry out the mission. As a former delivery guy, Lee Yong-do saw right away that the house with no anti-theft bars must belong to the criminal. It makes it easier to escape, so he stayed downstairs to block the exit. Upstairs, the criminal was preparing another attack. When he heard the police arriving, he tried to escape through the window. The victim took advantage, opened the steel door. The criminal never expected that in trying to flee from one danger, he'd walk into a trap. He thought that holding a weapon would give him leverage, but Lee Yong-do was a third Dan black belt. Before he knew it, a kick sealed his fate. Then Lee Yong-do used the stun gun to shock him. The man collapsed instantly. On his first mission, Lee Yong-do easily subdued the criminal. Over time, Lee Yong-do came to love this feeling. To him, criminals were like mice being chased by the most powerful being. One day, after eating with Kim Seon-min, he got a call. The next target was very dangerous, a killer who showed no mercy. Together they tracked the ankle monitor's signal, but found that it had been destroyed. They deployed a drone to survey. Soon, they located Kong Kiong. Lee Yong-do put on his headset and went alone. With Kim Seon-min's guidance, he found the criminal quickly. But unlike other rapists, this one was dangerous and still armed with a knife. He slashed at Lee Yong-do, but Lee Yong-do countered with a throw and neutralized the threat. The criminal, realizing he was outmatched, threatened suicide if Lee Yong-do didn't back off. Lee Yong-do hesitated. Fortunately, Kim Seon-min, with his experience, helped him resolve the crisis. After the mission, Lee Yong-do went to a barbershop, changed his yellow hair, made himself look more professional. Leaving the barbershop, he was happy, until he saw a man wearing an ankle monitor. His instincts kicked in. He saw this man touching a woman inappropriately, staring at her even after leaving. Lee Yong-do checked the records in that area, discovered the man was a high-risk rapist. He told Kim Seon-min. The criminal got a call, realized something was off, fled, but his monitor's signal vanished. They went in person. With help from the barbershop owner, they searched. After failing at several places, Lee Yong-do finally saw a cleaning lady. He remembered the criminal had been at that same place earlier. Danger felt close. And he was right. The criminal was there. The owner was already being attacked, pinned down, choked. She was about to suffocate when Lee Yong-do arrived just in time, stunned the criminal once, threw him off, checked the owner was okay, then arrested him, even though he tried to resist. The mission ended safely, no one was hurt. But peace didn't last long. Lee Yong-do and Kim Seon-min were transferred to the Special Task Force handling serial offenders. Their next case was horrifying. A predator who had harmed 15 little girls. On the way home after his capture, protesters and police surrounded them. People shouted for the criminal to die. Some even climbed onto the car roof. Only under police escort was he delivered safely, otherwise he may have been lynched. That night, he stayed home, plotting. Another rapist visited him. He told him that ankle monitors don't tell people apart in the same building. He invited him to the rooftop to talk. In their conversation, hints of a huge criminal plan emerged. Sure enough, the next day Lee Yong-do saw his tracker moving. He got into a taxi, followed the signal. When he entered a commercial building, he got out to follow him. Kong Kiong headed into the basement and climbed into a luxury car. At that moment, Lee Young-do also arrived, but from the outside, the vehicle's windows were completely opaque. Even if he stood directly in front of it, he couldn't see that Kong Kiong was inside. Still, they realized something was about to happen. The next day, a little girl was walking home. Kong Kiong had been waiting a long time. He grabbed her off the street, and soon another girl was dragged into a red-walled room. Mask on, camera ready, Kong Kiong began recording his secret video. But what he didn't know was that the police were already closing in. Lee Young-do had suspected him, followed him to a warehouse, but it turned out to be a trap. Kong Kiong locked him inside. Waiting for him were countless thugs. Yet Lee Young-do, a third Dan black belt who had trained since childhood and won countless taekwondo trophies, didn't flinch. Surrounded by fat, scarred, vicious gangsters, he fought fiercely. In no time, they were all on the ground. Just as he picked up his phone to call Kim Seon-min, he realized the rest of the team had also fallen into Kong Kiong's trap. One police officer had even been killed. Lee Young-do had no time to grieve. He rushed to locate Kong Kiong through his ankle monitor. Breaking through a fence, shattering glass, he jumped down toward the hideout. But Kong Kiong emerged from the shadows and opened fire. Lee Young-do reacted, counterattacked. The cameraman suddenly stabbed him. Gritting his teeth, Lee Young-do pulled the blade out, broke the man's arm, and knocked him unconscious with a punch. Still, under Kong Kiong's relentless blows, Lee Young-do was slammed against the wall, badly injured. Even bleeding heavily, he tried to rescue the girl. But Kong Kiong rose again, stabbing once more before the police finally stormed in. His accomplices urged him to flee. But Kong Kiong refused, determined to kill Lee Young-do. Only when his companion jumped out a window did he relent, throwing 2 more punches before escaping into the night. The police finally reached Young-do, but he was gravely injured and taken to the hospital. One officer was declared brain dead. Kim Seon-min suffered fractures and underwent surgery. For the first time, Lee Young-do shed bitter tears. He swore to capture Kong Kiong and bring him to justice. After his release from the hospital, Lee Young-do reassembled his friends. They remembered spotting a suspicious black car during the stakeout. By checking the license plate, they tracked down the owner's address. Disguised, they approached the house. Their tech-savvy friend hacked the lock easily, joking that opening doors was nothing to him. But as they searched, the fugitive suddenly appeared. Without hesitation, they rushed in, cornered him, and threatened until he revealed Kong Kiong's location. That night, Lee Young-do and his allies prepared for their next move. Soon, Lee Young-do found Kong Kiong hiding in a room. But Kang's henchmen didn't recognize Young-do and attacked immediately. In the chaos, one of them hurled a heavy pot, and while dodging, Young-do was stabbed with a knife. But Lee Young-do wasn't alone this time. He had backup. He quickly fought off all of Kong Kiong's underlings. Kong, seeing the tide turn, seized the chance to escape. Fortunately, their tech genius, Fatty, deployed his drone, helping Young-do track Kang's exact location. What followed was an intense showdown that dragged on, feeling like a battle that lasted 2.5 years. Kong Kiong rammed Young-do through walls, the fight spilling from outside to inside, then back outside again. Finally, Young-do was slammed onto the ground, pinned beneath Kang's overwhelming strength. Just as things looked bleak, Fatty's drone swooped in and smashed into Kong Kiong, giving Young-do a brief opening. He struck back with a flurry of punches, only to be forced against the wall again by Kang's massive frame. Physically, Young-do was at a disadvantage. But his wits saved him. Hidden in his mouth was a shard of glass. With the last of his strength, Young-do unleashed a powerful kick that finally ended the battle. At long last, Lee Young-do had fulfilled his mission. Together with Kim Seon-min, Fatty, and their friends, they had made a huge contribution to society. Awards and recognition followed. Most importantly, the young girls who had been rescued personally came to thank him. The story of Officer Black Belt ends here, with Lee Young-do's vow fulfilled and justice served.
Footsteps fade, the echoes call, 1,000 dreams begin to fall. And it's
Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and drop a heart.